Hello YouTube, Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today's topic is the 5 reasons why you should consider a sump for your tank. Certainly if your tank is 75 gallons or larger, a sump should be on your radar. There's 5 reasons I'm going to share with you why that is. And even if your tank isn't drilled, if it doesn't have an overflow box or drilled in the back, you can use products like this old Tom's Overflow. This is an overflow box and skimmer that was put out by Tom's, and you can pick these up pretty inexpensively now if you can find them. And they do a great job of pulling water out of your tank. That together with a 20 or even better, a 40-gallon tank, a few modifications, and you'd be underway. You'd have a sump running and providing a very superior filtration for your tank. So here are my 5 reasons why you should consider a sump, and I do want to hear from you what your reasons are, what you think about that, or any questions you might have about setting up a sump. I certainly went through a bit of a learning curve. And I relied on the advice and tips of a lot of people who had sumps successfully running. And also I did a lot of research at saltwater sites, bulk reef supply, places like that, and picked up a lot of tips from other places that were very knowledgeable about sumps. And finally I was able to tune this one in so it was smooth, quiet, and running very, very effectively. So here are my 5 reasons why you should consider adding a sump to your aquarium. So reason number 1 is pretty obvious, and that's the increasing of total water volume. And what that's going to do is it's going to dilute and water down the kind of things that you don't want in the aquarium, such as, let's say, a small spike in ammonia or nitrates. Things of this nature are going to get watered down by that increased volume. Number 2 is a massive amount of media. I would probably need to use, I don't know, half a dozen FX6s to get this amount of biological media going. And I'm not even using the second and third chambers to their full extent. So, massive amount of media. Number 3 is flexibility. Here in the middle chamber, you'll notice I have a algae scrubber from Santa Monica Filtration. And here in the third chamber, I have a whole variety of things, including my heaters, 2 of them. And I also have in here a very large air stone. So the water that is returning to the tank has a very high level of oxygen, very well oxygenated, apart from the oxygen it picks up from the trickle tower. And I also have other types of media in here, such as cubes that reduce nitrates, or claim to. And of course the heaters are being controlled by a controller, a heavy-duty controller you see here. Picked it up at Gemco. And you can see the large air stone in here. And of course I have a couple bags of Pyrogen and some moss balls and this cube media that you see here. And just a lot going on, and I'm still not really utilizing what can be done here. 4 is easy maintenance. And I've sped this up because you don't really need to see it in real time. But maintenance on this sump is simply flipping the switch, pulling out a block filter that I use at the base that separates where the opening is between the first and middle chamber. And I remove a piece of floss. This can be pinky floss or any kind of floss you want to use. I believe this is some Marineland floss that I picked up. I tend to rinse and reuse the floss a few times before I throw it out and replace it. And as you can see from here, I am able to get it pretty clean enough so it can stop any particles from getting into that biological media and blocking it up. So you can see it gets pretty clean. And the reason I know a lot of detritus is not getting through is because the block filter when you rinse that block filter, it's usually pretty clean. A lot of waste doesn't come out of that, so that tells me that the water that's moving through there is in good shape. Replacing it is very, very simple. It was cut to fit, of course. I cut it to fit, as I also cut this block filter to fit. You put them back in. Very simple process. Making sure everything is nice and snug. You're done. The whole process takes about 10-15 minutes, and certainly a lot faster than cleaning a canister, or maybe even faster than cleaning a hang-on back filter. And here it is running nice and smooth and quiet, doing its job, providing a tremendous amount of beneficial bacteria, added water volume, and the benefits of an algae scrubber that you see here. As I mentioned earlier, in this third chamber, I have media that is such as moss balls and these special cubes, and all of them are really designed just to help control the nitrates that can be high in a cichlid tank, especially with large cichlids, who tend to produce a lot of waste and drive those nitrate numbers up. The fifth reason for having a sump, in my opinion, is that once you have it set up correctly, you're going to end up with water that is simply pristine, very, very clean. You're going to end up, most importantly, with strong, healthy, and colorful fish. And after all, isn't that the reason why we have filtration to begin with, right? So there you have it. Those are the 5 reasons, and maybe a few bonus ones in there. And certainly comment below. Comment below the video. Let me know if there are some reasons why you think a sump is good and should be added or considered by fish keepers. And I'd certainly like to hear yours. I'm always learning about sumps, as you know. And in the next week or two, I'm going to come up with a video. I'm going to drop a video on the 5 tips, the 5 best tips that I received while setting up this sump. As for those of you that have followed my channel for a while, you know it was a learning process with some curves and some redos, and to eventually get it to a point where it was just a smooth, reliable, worry-free sump. So at any rate, there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to follow on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid, and come on over to Facebook at ben.o.cichlid. All right, thank you so much. You are appreciated.